Hi, this is Farhan and welcome back to another video. The Ripple lawsuit, the lawsuit which has been brought on to Ripple by the SEC is currently in its final turn. We are in the summary judgment phase, basically the phase that is going to decide the final verdict of this lawsuit, and by that decide whether XRP is a security or not. Basically, that is what the judge is going to be doing in its summary judgment verdict, saying that, hey, XRP is a security or not, and that is what Ripple and the SEC are fighting for. But that has not stopped more rumors flowing in to the world of Ripple and XRP. Especially recently, we had a major attorney within the Ripple and XRP community who talked about a settlement. If there is going to be a settlement, it will happen on or before November 15th. Why is that going to happen? We'll be looking regarding that in today's video and talking about the summary judgment on what exactly are we expecting an outcome, and is it going to be favorable or not. Not only that, we are also going to be talking about Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, who recently went on an event and basically kind of thrashed SEC, and that is something you should definitely watch. So a lot of these details in today's video. So without wasting much time, let's dive in. Basically, 3 days ago, we were expecting the SEC to file motions of appeal related to the William Hinton emails. Now, these emails and documents which are very essential for Ripple, and these are related to the fair notice defense, which is one of Ripple's smoking gun and basically its insurance policy. Judge has given that verdict in favor of Ripple, basically telling the SEC to hand over these documents. Now, we were expecting an appeal on that on 13th October. But that did not happen, to a surprise of a lot of people. Now that has kind of put the rumor mill churning, saying that, hey, what is exactly happening behind the scenes? Now keep in mind that these William Hinmans, as I mentioned previously, are very important for the fair notice defense, but not for the Section 5 violation, which is XRP being a security or not. And that is the crux of this lawsuit. That is what exactly Ripple and the SEC are fighting for. And on to those comments, basically attorney Jeremy Hogan, who is a famed attorney within the Ripple and XRP community, he had this to say: but keep in mind, what is in those emails is not relevant to Section 5 violation. Whether XRP is a security is probably only really relevant to the fair notice defense. Also remember that only the SEC moved for summary judgment on the fair notice defense. Ripple did not. Therefore, I believe that Ripple will object to a ruling on the fair notice defense issue because discovery is not complete. It wins that objection. So even if SEC appeals the email order, the Section 5 violation issues will continue and be fully briefed by November 15th. No matter what happens on the William Hinton issue, no matter the delay, the main issue will move forward to judgment. If Ripple wins the Section 5 violation, the fair notice defense becomes moot. If Ripple loses on Section 5, it can still move for the summary judgment on the fair notice defense. And as I mentioned, that this is basically Ripple's insurance policy, the fair notice defense. Now, this is why people are saying that, hey, is there a chance we are going to see a settlement? Because there are things happening behind the scene. And to this exact question, Jeremy Hogan, he also put out saying a settlement could happen anytime up until she rules, but I think it's more likely before November 15th, and she could rule on the current and future sales only, but it would be really a surprise because then the early sales would have to go on to trial. So if there is going to be a settlement, it will happen on or before November 15th. Now you might ask, why November 15th? Because November 15th, it is the deadline to file the summary judgment reply briefs from both Ripple and the SEC side. So a lot of things are happening behind the scenes which you might not really realize. Only the things that come to the public eye, those are the things that we are currently seeing. But the final thing is that there can be a settlement anytime until the judge gives a verdict. But most likely, at least according to Jeremy Hogan, that if there is going to be a settlement, it will happen on or before November 15th. Now on to the question of what kind of outcome we can expect from this lawsuit, what the judge might give. Now that at the moment, nobody can give an exact answer, but from what we have seen so far, most of the rulings have been in favor of Ripple. But again, now these do not mean that Ripple it is going to win. From the chance, if you ask people within the Ripple and XRP community, they would likely say yes, Ripple is going to win, but right now we do not have confirmation, at least until the judge gives from her own mouth. But this leads to a very important question, and as I mentioned previously, that is related to the fair notice defense and section 5, which is whether XRP is security or not. Now this thing, as a lot of people might have talked previously, that surprisingly, even to my own surprise, when the summary judgments were filed both from Ripple and the SEC side, Ripple did not talk about the fair notice defense. Now this fair notice defense is something that we had been talking about for a very long time, for more than a year, basically saying that this is the smoking gun which Ripple has, and very surprisingly we did not see that from Ripple. And the fact, surprisingly, it came from the SEC side, and the SEC is saying basically they want the judge to kind of rule on the fair notice defense. Now, one of the reasons why people are saying, especially attorneys within the Ripple and XRP community, are talking about the fair notice defense is if the judge gives a ruling on that, that means XRP has been decided as a security, and that is really, really bad for the XRP investors out there, because that means XRP being declared a security. Now this is also put forward by John Deaton, who is representing more than 70,000 XRP holders in this. As he said, as I've said, XRP holders never want to see a Judge Torres rule on the fair notice defense. If she does, it is because she decided that XRP is or was a security. For Ripple, the fair notice defense is akin to being an insurance policy. It only comes into play if a Ripple loses on the security issue. So from what we are seeing right now, even though the outcome might not be decided right now, but it seems that Ripple already has a backup plan if it does not go in its favor. Now that might mean a huge sigh of relief for a lot of XRP investors out there, because keep in mind, guys, that this lawsuit, this Ripple lawsuit, which has been almost 2 years since it was put forward onto Ripple, it is kind of the make or break thing for XRP, especially related to the price of XRP. Now, I don't need to tell you guys how important this lawsuit is for the price, because in the previous bull run, basically the bull run of 2021, XRP did miss out on hitting its all-time high price of around $3.8, but by the next bull run, which we're expecting it to happen anytime next year, that if the lawsuit it has been settled, or at least the verdict has been given in favor of Ripple, that might mean a crazy high, new all-time high for the price of XRP. Recently in the DC FinTech Week, Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, had some absolutely amazing things to say about the SEC, and especially related to this lawsuit. Let's take a look.
Most people outside the United States don't really care that the SEC is suing us. I'll tell you a very quick, funny story. I'll keep it short. I was in the Middle East last fall, and we were meeting with customers. I have one of the Ripple team members who's based there. It's really early in the morning. My time zones are all screwed up. We're meeting with the CEO of a payments company, and but the employee from Team Ripple says, "Well, why don't you give an update on what's going on at Ripple?" And I start talking about the SEC. And after the meeting, he very delicately says to me, "No one gives." And his point was, if you're not in the United States, the governments in Abu Dhabi, governments in Switzerland, Singapore, UK, Japan, they provided the clarity how they view and categorize digital assets, and they don't care that the United States SEC has a viewpoint that is, pending in court.
To me, when it was kind of hilarious and sad at the same time, because if you have been watching my previous videos and a lot of videos on YouTube related to XRP, they have very heavily focused on the lawsuit, and the rest of the world, as he puts it, like they don't really care like whether the SEC is suing Ripple or not. It's a very American focused viewpoint here, and that is why we have been not talking much about all the developments happening within the Ripple and XRP world, especially the technological revolution that Ripple is trying to bring with its XRPL, the ledger. And I think moving forward, I am going to be making more videos, especially focusing on the technological side. So if you want to pay attention or want to view those videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button, because those videos are going to be absolutely amazing, not just focused on this lawsuit. Well guys, that was the video for today, and as always, if you have some amazing comment, or if you have some suggestion for me to make a video on, or any comments related to this video, do drop a comment below, because I do read pretty much all the comments. And if you're new to my channel, consider subscribing, giving this video a like, and as always, I'll see you next time.